all stand. Jazakallah khairan. Barakallahu feek. Jazakallah khairan. Ahsanta. Fadal. Fadal Ahmed.
What are some good books to read about Allah's name and attributes?
Good books to read about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's names and attributes? There are many. A few of them in English. Sheikh Sa'di rahimahullah ta'ala, he has a book, Faslun fi Asma'illahi al-Husna. You can find that. It's been translated for years. It's a very excellent place to start. Wallahu alam. Idris.
For a healthcare worker that starts, their shift begins right before Maghrib time starts, wouldn't be able to take any kind of break until it's time for their Isha. When should they pray Maghrib if they're not able to before the time of Isha?
You got to pray on time. Somehow, some way, you have to make it, figure it out. If there's no way around it, and they combine Maghrib with Isha out of necessity, that's one thing. But somehow, some way, they have to figure something out. Bidnillahi ta'ala. Wallahu alam. Kabir.
When hijra becomes wajib on women, how does she make that journey if she doesn't have any mahram?
When hijra becomes obligatory upon a woman, how does she make that journey without a mahram? They say she travels without a mahram. She goes by herself. Because in that time, in that instance, it's mandatory, it's obligatory. And her having to disobey Allah Azza wa Jal is overlooked because of the necessity. And that's obviously, that's well known, is that there's necessity which allows infringement of certain things which are haram. That's a fact, right? Regardless of the ignorant people who think or say otherwise. Wallahu alam. No. Next question, Khalid.
Question from online. Initials AM from Schenectady, New York. Is there a fee for offline questions?
The question is there a fee for offline questions? There's no fee. You can ask questions whenever you want to, wherever you want to. As far as a question with a specific time, date, then that's a different story. Wallahu alam.
Initials SC from Jamaica, Queens. He says, I know it's disliked to close your eyes in Salah.
Next question.
Initials QB from London, UK. Any advice on how to keep your cool and composure like Juraj?
Any advice on how to keep your cool and composure like Juraj? Yeah, read the story. Just read the story. Believe in the story. Look how Allah saved him. He kept his cool, he kept his composure because he knew he didn't do anything. So pure life, pure living, it comes with a reward. And defiled life or defiled living, it comes with a consequence. One of the rewards that you reap from living a pure, clean life is that you never, ever have to worry. You never have to look over your shoulder like your rearview mirror is broken. Never. Didn't do anything, nobody. But here, there, this one, that one, different story. So Juraj, he never had to worry. If they destroyed my temple, they destroyed the temple. They locked me up, they take my life, my status with the law is, inshallah, is clear. Because I didn't sleep with that woman, period. So it's just that simple. Practice though, but you have to practice. You have to practice controlling your temper. You have to practice stifling your ego, right? It's not easy. I'm speaking about myself. It's easier said than done, but you have to practice. Wallahu alam.
Initials YO from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. What's the ruling on doing qada for prayer where an error was made after the time of that salah has passed?
Don't make up any prayers after their time unless you're absolutely sure that you did something to invalidate that prayer. Other than that, you're going to fall into the pit of wiswas. That's a fact. Wallahu alam.
Initials HH from Burnsville, Minnesota. How to get to know someone before marriage to see compatibility within halal boundaries.
How to get to know someone before marriage within the halal boundaries. Do it based off of your cultural norms, whatever your culture may be. If that includes the man coming over your house with your father, if that includes you go out with your older brother, all three of you go out on a date, Methanin, he's your chaperone, you're not alone with him, you get to talk, walk, he stands 10 feet behind you, whatever the case may be. Chatting in a permissible way, whatever is culturally normal and acceptable. Wallahu alam.
Initials KK from Atlanta, Georgia. Assalamu alaikum, Imam Mufti. If one is on the 7th or 6th level in Jannah, would he be able to visit a loved one on a lower level?
A person who's on a higher level in Jannah, will he be able to visit someone who's on a lower level? Only Allah truly knows. The Quran clearly affirms is that those who believe and their progeny follow them in belief, we will level the progeny up to the parents without diminishing the rewards. No one's rewards will be taken away. But a family member, a loved one who's on a lower level, will be allowed to see and to be happy with those who are on a higher level. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
Initials QB from London, UK. I lent money to a man who said he needed it for rent, but then found out he used it for drugs. Can I retrieve the money back from him by using forceful means?
No, you walk away from the situation. Khalas, just don't give it to him again.
Initials AH from Cairo, Egypt. When are we getting a part 2 of Daydreamers? That was one of the greatest lectures I've ever listened to, Sensei. Barakallahu feek.
Wa fikum barakallah. May Allah bless you. Jazakallah khairan for the compliment and for the feedback. I'm very, very happy and pleased that you enjoyed it and benefited from it. To be honest with you, I had a talk that day. It was a program. It was in South Jersey, maybe Plainsfield. It was some years ago. I was invited to speak there. And I bought that book in Manhattan at a used bookstore on the sidewalk. And I just picked up the book, I bought it. And I happened to open up the book and I came across it and I used it for the talk. So it wasn't planned. So inshallah, if and when Allah allows me to have that same energy or that inspiration, you'll get Daydreamers Part 2. That was a quote of Lawrence of Arabia about the power of men who dream during the day versus men who dream at night. Wallahu alam.
Initials ID from Atlanta, Georgia. Can one give the zakat to a food bank here in America?
One can give zakah to a bank or an establishment organization that clearly declares that it will receive the money and give it to those who deserve it. Fuqara and masakin. All right? They handle it, they receive it and handle it and distribute it properly. Wallahu alam. As far as a general food bank or a general masjid, no. It has to be specified. This is zakatul mal. And that money, the food, is not to be purchased with that money. Rather, the money is supposed to be given to the needy and the poor or those in debt, etc. accordingly. Not food. Donation for food is a different story. Wallahu alam.
Initials YD from Brooklyn, New York. What is the ruling on going on a honeymoon? Is it imitating the disbelievers?
Shahr al-Asal, they call it overseas. The month of honey. It's a very interesting fact if you read what the word honeymoon means. Anybody know where it comes from? Very interesting history behind the term honeymoon. Right? It's nothing religious or spiritual. It's nothing pertaining to Aqidah or nothing like that. But it's a tangible, practical reason why they call it a moon of honey. Nothing to do with intercourse or nothing like that. All right? Sorry to burst your bubble, okay, or disappoint you. What's important is you get married, you have the walima, you feed the people. If you and your wife want to go out and, enjoy each other for a mini vacation or whatever, no problem, inshallah. Wallahu alam.
Next question. Initials YD from Brooklyn, New York. What should one study beforehand if they want to go to Kulit al-Hadith?
Be good in Arabic. If you're good in Arabic, that's all you need. If you're good in Arabic, that's all you need. You can catch on, you can pick up, you can figure everything out as long as your Arabic is good. As far as your Arabic is poor, you're going to struggle. As far as if your Arabic is good and you want to learn a little more, you want to prime yourself, then study the basic books of Ilm al-Hadith, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Umdat al-Ahkam, Nukhbat al-Fikr, Tadhkira, things like this. Wallahu a'lam.
Initials AR from
And of course, if you can study more than that, if you can study bigger books, then of course you can go to Kulit al-Hadith and benefit more, and learn more, and fly faster. Wallahu a'lam.
Initials AR from Manitowoc, Wisconsin. Assalamu alaikum. How do you give dawah to disbelievers? And what do you need to know?
You give dawah to disbelievers by putting yourself in their shoes with compassion, feeling sorry for them, wanting good for them. Very important to feel it, to be a part of it. I'm trying to save you from hell by Allah's permission. Versus, let me just say it to him, or let me just make sure I'm not responsible on the day of judgment. I said it. No, you have to feel it. I want to save you by Allah's permission. I feel bad. Allah took me from where you guys used to be. I used to worship the cross and the crucifix. I used to think this and this and that. Allah saved me. Now I have to give back. I have to pull you out of it. So that's rule number one. If you have love and compassion, everything else, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, will follow suit. What to say, debating the books, you got to feel it. You can't just do it professionally. You can't just do it cold and dry. You understand? That's going to have an effect on everything that you study and read and how you say it and how you argue, etc., etc. Wallahu alam.
Initials YD from Brooklyn, New York. We have a lot of Muslim organizations that ask for donations and say that there's Zakat eligible. How do we know if it's true?
You may not know. If you have the ability to sit down with them, talk with them, go over some of their policies, ask for some type of transparency, fine. And many people, they won't mind. Sure, we'll show you our portfolio. This is where such and such, certified for this. This is what we raised, such and such. You have pictures, videos. These are people, testimonies, etc., etc., etc. Khairan. As far as we can't show you nothing and we can't explain anything, either you give your money or you don't, then maybe it's time to walk away from them. And at the end of the day, only Allah truly knows what, right? You don't know. So if you feel you honestly trust them, Bismillah ta'ala. Wallahu alam. Fadl akhi. Wa assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh.
My question is about the hadith on your good deeds stop, come to an end except for three, and one of them being a righteous child that prays for you. And I want to know what it means to be like a righteous child.
Righteous child is, of course, you're going to be fundamentally sound in Islam. The fundamentals you do. 5 daily prayers, zakah, hajj, fasting, your shahada is in order. You have the fundamentals of Islam down pat soundly. If and when you have the ability to add to that, making extra prayers, giving extra sadaqah, making extra fasting, making extra fast, then of course. And also you avoid the haram acts. You may not have the ability to avoid the dislike acts, but you avoid the haram acts. And if you do fall into a haram act, you make tawbah. You make repentance. You try your best to stop, etc. That's a righteous child. If you have good character, good behavior, you're nice with people, kind to people, that's even more light upon light. That's what's meant by a righteous child. Wallahu alam. And in most cases, the child that's implementing Islam and practicing Islam is only doing so because of his parents. They taught you how to pray. They showed you what to do. Or he couldn't teach you, but he sent you to the school. He paid for your tuition. I pay your Quran teacher because I can't teach you the Quran. So you learning and practicing the Quran, spreading the Quran, that's all from your father or mother's influence. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
Question from online. Initials MM from over Jessel, the Netherlands. I don't know how to say the name. Is the hadith authentic about that there is barakah in the morning?
It's hadith like many other ahadith, different views on it. The meaning, without a question, is sound. There's no doubt about that. Even if there's some problems or issues with its isnad. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
Initials AR from Manitowoc, Wisconsin. What should I do if my little brother keeps bothering me in Salah? Should I leave it to the parents or do something in an Islamic manner?
We'll stop here tonight. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best, and with him is all success. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.